Hi there folks, thanks for tuning into my channel called Pearls, Points and Promises. I'm back with another video, and this time I've given it a theme, and the theme is Maximise the Moment. Maximise the Moment, which I hope will encourage and maybe challenge those who are listening or watching. And I'd appreciate folks, as you leave, you might hit the subscribe button or even give me a thumbs up, which means you'll get notification of any future videos being released. On Wednesday, the 20th of January, that's just last week or so, I tuned into the TV to watch the inauguration ceremony, the swearing in of Joe Biden as the 46th President of the United States of America. And if you tuned in, you probably heard the various commentators all trying to describe in detail the difference of this scene due to pandemic measures compared to the scenes of past times and past presidential swearing-in ceremonies. The one commentator says something that grabbed me. He says, as Joe steps up to being sworn in, he'll be conscious of the shadow of one man looming large over him. And the reference was not to Donald Trump, the outgoing guy, but it was to John F. Kennedy, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States of America, who was killed on Friday, the 22nd of November, by the assassin's bullet. And if you listen to the commentators, you can see some are trying to make a real comparison or express or identify similarities between John Kennedy and Joe Biden. So whether they believe it or not, they were trying different things, and some of them were relevant. A few years ago, I had the opportunity of visiting John F. K's grave in Arlington Cemetery, where it's situated amongst rows upon rows of immaculate headstones of the thousands of servicemen and servicewomen who died fighting for their country. And looking at the gravestone, I could see engraved on it at that time was a simple inscription. It read, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, 1917-1963. And that was it. A simple inscription, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, 1917-1963. And what I was reading there and what I'm saying is this, that 2 dates, when John F. K. was born and when he died, everything about him, his childhood, his college days, his naval service days, the time when he entered politics, the time when he got married or had children, his successes, his failures, the challenges he faced, and all the men and women that he met and motivated, the decisions he influenced, everything that he ever was or did was represented by a dash between 2 dates, and that was it. And I stood looking at this thinking, is that it? This man's whole life represented by a dash between 2 dates. Now, many suggestions and speculations have been given about what he might have done or he might have achieved if he had not been killed that day, especially when people remember that the slogan for his presidential campaign when he was running to become president, the slogan he used was, a time for greatness. A time for greatness, which obviously implied that John F. K. had plans and purposes if and when he became president, things he would like to put in motion under that whole heading of a time for greatness. So John F. K., aged 46, he died. Died being a man of influence, of wealth and power, a man who was guarded day and night by the Secret Service agents, and yet nothing and no one seemed to be able to stop the events of Friday the 22nd of November 1963. And I'm sure on that day when it started, JFK would have great hopes and dreams and expectations for himself, for his family, for the country, for the world, but all that was cut short by the bullet that day. And I was thinking about his presidential campaign slogan, a time for greatness. It just set me thinking. And it led me in turn to a passage in the Old Testament called Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes in the Old Testament of the Bible. And I turned particularly to chapter 3, verses 1 to 15, which begins, "There is a time for." And if you go down through the rest of the verses, you'll see a time for this, a time for that, time for all sorts of things. But I'm sure it would hit you if you read it yourself, that these verses are full of pearls of wisdom. They're containing important points. And when you read these things and just pause for a minute to think about them, you see that each of them are containing or conveying a powerful message or issuing a strong warning, so that we as individuals should maximize the moment. Yeah. And implications are obvious that life, it's implying, is so precious. It's so fleeting. It's so fragile. Therefore, we should make the most of it while it's here, because tomorrow it could be gone. It could be over. Now I'm aware that any reference to the brevity of time, to life and death and dying, can be regarded as extreme. Extreme talk is something that's OTT. It's over the top. It's alarmist, especially to those who are just starting out on the education path, or thinking of establishing a career, or even contemplating a relationship like marriage. And in those situations, the individuals are apt to think that all of life lies ahead. And that's okay to think that. All of lives ahead, so the intention is to really grasp life. Grasp life and live it to the full. So they contemplate their life being full of years in which there will be much promise and potential to be realised. Obviously, they're hoping there'll be so much to do and to go and to say. And so any thoughts of anything less than that just seems to be pushed away to the horizon, a long way off. What I'd like to do just for a minute or two is to share with you one or two passages from the Bible that illustrates what can be the means of time and opportunity not being realised. And there's a passage I encourage you to read if you've got a Bible, with the opportunity to follow them up. Two passages first from the Old Testament. One is in Numbers chapter 14, verses 40 to 43. And when you read this, you'll see it's a fantastic opportunity was given to a whole group of people. Yeah. But it was lost because they wouldn't believe. They just would not believe that what they were told about the situation was true. And so the whole thing was lost because they're unprepared to believe. The second passage in the Old Testament is from Jeremiah chapter 8, verses 15 to 20. Here the opportunity is lost due to neglect. See, the people this passage is addressing are those who actually knew what to do. They just knew what to do and what to say and so on. But they just decided they weren't going to do it. And so the whole opportunity and time was lost due to neglect. Other passages you can find in the New Testament. First one from the Gospel of Matthew, in chapter 23, verses 24 to 25. And here the opportunity is missed by a group of people who are not prepared to change. Now, I know change can be a difficult thing, it can be a costly thing, yeah. But these folk missed the whole opportunity of something really good because they were not prepared to change. Another passage in the New Testament is found in the Acts of the Apostles, in chapter 8, verse 35 to 39. And that's a fantastic passage if you've got time to read it. And you see, this time an opportunity was given to a particular individual who was in a real place of authority and influence. And the great thing was that this man grabbed the opportunity. He made a life-changing decision, which not only affected his life, but would affect others that he came in contact with. The last one for the New Testament is in 1 Corinthians chapter 16, verse 9 following. And here again, you're reading about an individual. But this time you can see great things were accomplished by this individual because he was determined to prioritize the time, to maximize the moment, to really grasp the situation that he could see offered great potential. Now, I could give you many other passages from either Old or New Testament, and they illustrate what a particular verse from Ecclesiastes speaks of. In this passage you'll find in chapter 9 of Ecclesiastes in verse 11, where it says that time and opportunity can happen. Time and opportunity can happen. The implication is that it'll be available to the individuals at the time. But the sad thing for me when I think about it, that JFK, this man who had great potential and maybe could have achieved great things, who knows, he didn't get the time and opportunity. Well, imagine if he hadn't been killed that Friday morning in November of 1963. I'm sure had he become president, I'm sure he knew he was going to try and make good his slogan. He really envisaged his presidential time to be a time for greatness. And I'm sure in our heart of hearts, each one of us would want to maximise the moment, to grasp the opportunity and use our time wisely. But this often means, for the individual, you and me and many others like us, it means us leaving our comfort zone, or facing up to the challenge of change and accepting that there could be a cost in this. This morning at this time, I'm going to close this video. But to do so, I want to leave two quotations from John F.K. And this is what he said. He says, every accomplishment starts with the decision to try. Every accomplishment starts with the decision to try. The second quote, he says, those who dare to fail miserably can achieve greatness. Those who dare to fail miserably can achieve greatness. So I hope you'll think over some of the things I've mentioned and maybe read these passages that I've offered. So I'll say to you, bye for now. But again, I would say I appreciate it if you could hit the subscribe button and maybe even give a thumbs up, because that'll help you, if you like, to get notification when the next video and so on is available. Bye for now. Thank you.